Hello everyone, welcome. Today is New Year's Eve, meaning 31st December. From tomorrow, 2025 starts. So I thought, why not recap my best games of 2024? So here's where we are, and let's get started. So my first game is with a player who was rated 100 points, 101 points, rating points ahead of me at that time. So in this game, he started with the English opening c4. I responded with e5. I was playing with black. He was white. He played d4, which is an unconventional move. I was actually quite surprised after seeing this. I took the pawn. He played queen takes d4. I threatened the queen with my knight. He checked me. I played queen e7, defended my king and offering a trade of queens. He accepted it and we started the game. He played e4, developing. I played knight f3. Sorry, knight f6, developing my other knight. So after that was just a continuation of development until he played this move. So bishop d3. I threatened his bishop with knight d4 and I think he might have gotten a little confused because he played knight g to e2. Some of you might not understand, no offense, but this actually blunders the bishop. Just like that. I think he got a little confused. He was probably getting scared that I was about to fork him and he wanted to castle as quickly as he could. So he just messed it up. I took the bishop. He moved his king and from that point onwards it was just a game going in a straight line. I was completely winning. And this was a 30-minute rapid game which I've been playing recently to prepare for my next tournament, which I'm going to play in. It's from 10th to 12th Jan. Okay. So after that he offered a trade of knights, which I'm not sure why I did because trading is not the best thing you should do when you're down material. So I took trade. I kicked the bishop, winning a tempo. Okay. I forked the knight and the rook. He defended. I traded off the knight for the bishop. Now at this point he had started a little fight back because if you look at the engine, before this it was 4 advantage and now after this move it went down to 3.1. The bar is also moving. Yeah, so I offered to trade of pawns. The engine thought that was not the best move. So, and after that he completely ignored it. I kicked the rook, moved back. I defended my pawn. Actually, I blundered the pawn here. This one, the a7 pawn. But my opponent didn't see that. He played d6. One second, I'll just switch on game review so we can check it better. So yeah, we're here. He blundered. Yeah. So here I blundered the pawn, but my opponent didn't see it. Instead, he doubled up the rooks, which the ancient thinks is a good move actually. So I pushed the pawn, hoping for a trade. Now he sees that I blundered. Okay, I kick the bishop because if I take the pawn here, I just lose a rook and it's checkmate. So I kick the bishop. Bishop moved back. Moved my rook. I lost another pawn. Now I'm down to only a +1 advantage in points. material, not engine. Engine still thinks I'm plus 3.3. Minus 3.3, but it's still okay. Okay, now I win a pawn back. He tries to kick my bishop and hopes to win a pawn, but now the engine, this was the lowest point and the best point for him in the game after he blundered that bishop. As now after takes, I move my bishop back. The advantage is down to 2.56. Before it was 4.56 and now it's down to 2.56. So yeah, takes. He tries to kick my knight, which the engine completely disagrees with, and the advantage just goes back to 4. So yeah, I move my knight. He tries to get his bishop into my territory. I offer trade of rooks, which he accepts, which I actually want to trade here. That's why if you look closely, I've been in trading mindset from the start of the game and from where he blundered that bishop. So we're here. Trades. Tries to probably try and pin it after moving the pawn, and then that's a long-term plan. So I push my h pawn, securing the back rank. He tries to develop his pawns and probably launch an attack on the king side, I guess. Not sure. So I trade the knight for a bishop. Defense. And now, after this move, he blunders mate. Wow. So it was not mate actually. That's why the engine wasn't showing mate in 1 possibilities yet. Mate in 2 actually after this. What he should have done was en passant. Some of you might not know what that is, so I'll just show you. Analysis. So let's. So if a pawn is on the 6th or the 3rd rank, I'll just play some random moves. Sorry, 5th or the 4th rank, after a pawn of the opponent's side moves 2 squares, it has the opportunity en passant, meaning take the pawn, going diagonally. But the only time this can happen is when it is on the 5th rank and the opponent moves a pawn 2 squares. So yeah, that's for en passant if you didn't know. Oops, I'll just go back to the review. I've reviewed again. That's why the engine is still showing plus 5.6, not mate in 1. But my opponent didn't see that and he played king h5 and got mated. So in this game I got 90.9% accuracy. That's actually quite high, but no greats or brilliance. That's all for the first game. Let's move on to the second one. We're doing game review again. So I was playing with black again. He started with e4. I responded with e5. So we both developed our knights. He played c3, which I'm pretty sure I've not seen too many times before. d3. The engine shows that there's a slight advantage for black in this moment. So for white at this moment. d4. I develop both my knights. He pushes the pawn. I retreat my knight. Now at this moment, white has an advantage. He's superior in vision and in space. So yeah, I'm just shuffling around my knights hoping to get a breakthrough. Now this is where he makes the first, well, not an inaccuracy, but well, that's just not the best move. G5, bishop G5 actually. I defend my knight, not wanting to double up my pawns because if it takes, yeah, this is what you call double pawns. So yeah, I defend. He checks me. I defend with my other bishop. Now this is a great move, as it is kind of pressuring me to move my pawn. But thankfully I find the only good move actually with it. Well, a6 also was a good move, but that still would have scared me a little, as that would have meant pushing both my knights onto the 7th rank, which is not good. They're just sitting there undeveloped. They need to be out, and that'll take at least another 2 moves. Even though the engine is showing a 0.3 advantage, I wouldn't have liked that position too much. So I castled, and that's the first inaccuracy. I also counter inaccuracy that he takes, which is a mistake. Now I find the only great move here. Takes here, because he can't take the rook, means he's got to take this, which he does. I play queen takes e7, and he retreats to b3. Now there's no material advantage for me, but it has given me a superiority in development, and this pawn is looking quite scary here. So yeah, I make an inaccuracy. I thought that maybe trying to build a pawn chain would be good here, but that's just not it. He castles. I don't take. I want to develop. I'm actually planning to launch an attack on his castle. And he plays rook f to e1, which I'm not so sure is a good move, as the engineer also does like it is. That gives away an attacker of yours. Sorry, defender. I keep saying wrong terms, so don't mind please. So yeah, I play f6 trying to develop an attack. After playing g6 and threatening checkmate on g2. c4. He defends by pushing the pawn. I check. He moves. I check him again. I'm not sure why I wanted to do that. I thought maybe I could win some material or something like that. He plays king f1. I check him. That's a forced move, as that's the only move he has. I take the pawn. He takes. He counter takes my pawn, which is not a good move. Definitely not. He should have taken with the knight and then tried to jump it into some action. Instead, he is trying to counter attack me in my own territory. So yeah, I take the pawn, takes back, and this is the first brilliant move. Now you may not understand. The brilliancy is because I'm sacrificing my knight. That's because if you take, I give a discovered check. You have one move, and it's mate. So you definitely cannot do that. So plays the only defending. Okay, that's not the only defending. There were a few moves like queen b4. There were some moves that could have completely ignored the position, which I don't think my opponent liked. So he played h4 trying to defend. He's obviously just trying to improve his position, and now I don't know in what mind I played this, but this is a horrible move. I mean, it doesn't lose any material, but it does give away an advantage. So he takes my free pawn. He's actually +1 at this moment. But thanks to my kingside attack of these 3 pieces, it's still okay. I check. He plays the only move here. And I give another brilliant sacrifice. If he takes, it's the same. Wait. If he takes here, it's just an equal trade and I have some serious attacks. Because after takes, moves here, here, threatening checkmate. He'll play knight here. I'll just shuffle around some pieces, hoping to trade, hoping to sacrifice one of my rooks. He'll move back. And there's mate in 17 after. Oops, I played the wrong move. Here, 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 and after this, it's mate. Oh, wrong move. That's not how it played, but still, according to Stockfish, it's +5. And +5 is a major advantage. That just happened. So yeah, let's continue on with the game. Sacrifice my knight. He moves back. He doesn't want to get into any complications of opening up his castle. I play h3 check. And he tries to get his king out into the open. And I missed the only move there. Well, not only, but the best move. I keep saying only move, don't mind. So yeah, I attacked the queen, but with the wrong rook. I should have done it with the f rook, not the a rook. He moved his queen. I play one of the best and only moves there to keep the tension alive. Queen f6, threatening checkmate. And after such a positional game, he blunders mate in 1. I think he just gave up. He said, I don't want to do this. And I find checkmate. That's it for the second game. Let's move on. So this is the third game. In that game, I got 81.5% accuracy, which is a lot lower than the previous one, but still. So this is again an e4, e5 opening. Knight f3, c6. He tries to play the Italian. So I know the engine shows it's an inaccuracy, but the reason I'm doing this is for the Blackburn shilling gambit. If he takes a free pawn, this is what I do. I'll play queen g5. He'll fork me. He'll defend. I'll play this. This is, oops. I'll play this. Takes. So yeah, that's what I was hoping for, but didn't really pan out well. So yeah, he didn't play the best move. He should have just taken the knights and it would have been better for him. Slightly better, 1.3 advantage. That is quite a lot. He tries the scholar's mate on me. Not the 4 move one, but the 6 move one. I defend with my knight. Moves the pawn forward. Bishop defends. He plays pawn a3. I'm not sure what that meant, but I castle. He plays pawn h3. I don't know. I think this is some kind of strategy. Not sure. Castles c6. This was actually quite pretty much a quiet game here. Now there's one thing I forgot to tell you. The third game, which is this one, this will very position game. It's basically just keeping strong and fighting. And the opponent cracked after a couple of moves. So yeah, this is where the real game starts from. Rook f to c1. I see that these three pieces are pretty much out of formation, so I start trying to kick them. Now it's just going to be a tempo race. Takes. A lot of trades. I threaten the knight and the bishop. He plays the only move there. Actually he had another move with the queen in, and that just went wrong. But he wanted to be a little over ambitious. I kick the rook, moves the rook away. I kick the bishop, puts the knight in front of it to defend it. I kick the other bishop, the light squared one, defends with the rook. I try to kick the knight again, but that doesn't really work. I develop my bishop. He kicks my queen. I move my queen into his territory. He plays knight to d2, retreating. I move my bishop into his territory, and the blunder happens. Knight b3, like everything was big. It's like that everything was okay, and suddenly there's tsunami. Like, why did he need to do that? All of his pieces were beautifully defended. I think he wanted to develop his knight, but he had another square. He had c4. He needed to play b3. And I get the bishop. He resigns. So as this was a position game, not much excitement, but there was 92.1% accuracy. So let's move on to the fourth game. In this game, I was white. I started with e4, e5, d3, bishop c5, knight moves in. 1 second. And now, at this moment, I think I was starting to be a little like Magnus Carlsen. I think some of you might have seen the video on how to play the Damiano Gambit. No? That was a game of Magnus Carlsen. I'll just show you once. Yeah. So after e4, e5, I play f3. Black plays f6. You sacrifice the knight. You fork both the pieces. After you try to defend with the pawn, you fork the rook and the king. And after moves, it's a completely winning game. So yeah, that's what I was trying, but in a different way. As you see, my opponent did not immediately play f6. He first played bishop c5, I played knight f3, then he played f6. That's where I noticed an opportunity to play the Damiano Gambit. That doesn't really come too often. As most people don't like playing f6. Like they'll play d3, develop the knight. There's a lot of moves other than that. So yeah, the computer thinks it's a mistake. Because if I try the same thing again, sorry, let's go to analysis. He's gonna play king to f8, or if he plays this, oops, he has a move king to f8 after I move. Yep. After I take the pawn, it's +1 to him, and the engine thinks slightly better. So yeah. That could turn into a massive advantage. But my opponent doesn't see that, and he defends with the pawn. Yeah. I immediately capitalize on the error and win the rook. He tries to give the scholar's mate on me, but as my queen is in there, that doesn't really matter. I play g3 defending. He tries to trap my queen, which he does, and I trade it off. I don't really need that. So yeah, he's actually trying, with this move he's trying to stop me from forking him. Well, not fork, but trapping his rook. So yeah, instead of developing, he's doing that. I offered a trade of bishops, defend my knight. Okay, castle moves his knight into attack, and he trades of a rook and a pawn for a knight and a bishop. Kicks my knight, builds a pawn chain, and he blunders his rook. The other rook. He didn't actually notice that. This is what I was trying to do. Opening up. So the move here should have been... The ancient thinks taking the pawn is the best, but okay. Yeah, after this he's just completely losing in a few moves. I fought the knight and the king and trap the bishop. Well, he gives up his bishop, not trap. But I didn't take it. I was looking for mate. And he just gives it up. That's the fourth game. Let's move on to the last and final game. Now, this game may seem familiar to you, to some of you who have seen my previous video as I've uploaded this game, which was titled My Best Chess Game Ever. Now, the only reason I'm putting this once more as this was played in 2024 and it had my highest accuracy level. PS, the accuracy in the last game was 92.1. In this, it's 95. So that counts as the best game. This is a pretty short game. I'll show it to you for the ones who have not seen the last video. And also be sure to check in on my channel. I've got some really good videos there. So yeah, it starts with e4, e5. I'm playing white. Pawn d3, d6. Countering me, I don't know. Knight f3, knight f6. Bishop e2, bishop e7. He's just copying me. I castle, he castles. h3, h6. Knight c3. And now the copycat breaks. He plays a6. I offer a trade of knights, which is not the best move, but still. Okay, I take, we trade. Now, I pre-move here. It's a blitz game, unlike my others. I pre-moved. I didn't expect that he'd play c6 and offer me a trade. Still, I played d4. He took, I took back. And in this mode, it's completely equal. He plays queen d6, attacking. I played back, bishop d8. And now, the first building moves comes in. Didn't think of it. I'm just gonna let you pause the video for a second here. Then, the move is bishop c4. Because if you take, the queen is hanging. My opponent realizes that, and I'm going to repeat the same dialogue from my last video. He doesn't really give much of an improvement. Pawn b5. Allow me to get the pawn for free here. He plays knight c6, defending his rook, and I find the second brilliant move. This one is easier. It is bishop takes f7. Because either you take king or rook, your queen is left hanging and my opponent resigns in this position. So guys, happy new year, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to upload too many videos on my channel for the last few weeks. I've been pretty busy, and we'll be back in the new year on 7th of January. Mark that date, guys. The next video will be uploaded on 7th of January. I'm actually going on vacation. Sorry. So, Happy New Year. See you next time. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions, write down in the comments.